Thank you, brother and sister elder, for hosting a wonderful conference in Pueblo, Colorado. Thank you. Let's give them a big round. I know there's a lot of sponsors that help out financially to make this possible. And may God bless all the men that make a financial sacrifice to make this kind of meeting possible. You know what? I'm a better man after being here. Thank you, Brother Miles Young. Thank you, Brother Moran. Thank you, Brother Buxton. God love you. Great preaching. Thank you for what you've done to Brother Odom. I will never forget this meeting. And to the wonderful ministers that are here, your wives and your churches, may God bless you. God love you. Let's read from the Bible in 1 Kings chapter 21 and then the book of John chapter 15. It's a little lengthy, but it's important that I read it all to you. It's a familiar story in the Old Testament. It's about Naboth and his vineyard. It begins in the first verse of the 21st chapter of 1 Kings. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs. Because I want you to notice that he wanted to change what it was there for. Just cut down all the grapevines, and I want to make it a garden of herbs. And he goes on to say, because it is near unto my house. Now verse 1 said it's hard by the palace of King Ahab. And Ahab continues in the second verse, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. You better be careful when you're striking a financial bargain with the devil. And Naboth said unto Ahab, The Jehovah, the Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my father unto thee. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken unto him. For he said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And Ahab laid him down upon his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him, and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And so she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And set 2 men, the sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out, and stone him, that he may die. And the men of the city, even the elders and the nobles, who were the inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, the children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. Now, before you go to the book of John, don't turn to this one. But just as an addendum to that reading, there was more than Naboth that was executed, but because of his stand, his sons were also executed. I'll read in 2 Kings 9:26. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, saith the Lord. So keep in mind, the stand that daddy took affected his entire family. So he wanted the vineyard of Naboth that was in Jezreel. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 15. One of the parables of Jesus, beginning at the first verse. John, chapter 15. Jesus talked about a vineyard, but he said in verse 1, I am the true vine. If you want to know, in the original, he said, I am the only vineyard. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in my vineyard, in my vine, that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vineyard, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. If a man abide not in my vineyard, or in my vine, or in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. While you're standing, let me introduce my subject to you today, and I build my presentation from a very popular story in the Old Testament. To me, Naboth is an Old Testament rendition of the New Testament deacon by the name of Stephen. Stephen would not acquiesce his sermon. He would not compromise his message about Jesus Christ. And the city, the elders of the city, led him out of the gates of the city, not Jezreel, but Jerusalem. And Stephen was stoned because of his refusal to compromise Jesus Christ as the Lord of heaven. In the Old Testament, Naboth refused to surrender that parcel of land that had been in his family for over 600 years. His father worked that vineyard. His grandfather worked that vineyard. Great-grandpa worked that vineyard all the way up to 6 centuries. Some have even suggested, and I can't document this, but some that I've studied after have suggested that Naboth indeed was of the lineage of a grand old man that served under both Moses and Joshua by the name of Caleb. I can't document it, but it really sounds good. And if it could be documented, it was the grit that was in the cross